Every time I go watch a Pixar movie, my expectations are sky high, which is unfair because not every Pixar movie can be an Up or a Soul. Sometimes you get a Cars 2 or a Finding Dory. Hey guys, welcome back to Adlib Talk, and this is my review for Lightyear. As always, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it, and please do consider subscribing. So, Lightyear is Pixar Animation Studios' latest sci-fi action-adventure film, which serves as a spin-off of the Toy Stories film series. It is basically an origin story for fan-favorite character Buzz Lightyear, and we get to see this character's backstory. The movie is co-written and directed by Angus MacLean, produced by Galen Sussman, and stars Chris Evans as the voice of the titular character. The plot has us following the adventures of a young Buzz Lightyear who has crashed their ship on a hostile planet. Now, the commander, Alicia Hawthorne, together with the crew of the ship, start to work on a way to get off this planet and make their way back home. The colony starts to slowly grow, and Lightyear starts testing these different hyperspace fuels. However, each time he tests one and fails, seemingly 4 years pass on the planet. Was for Buzz, they would have been only 4 minutes. In the meantime, we also have the threat of the mysterious Emperor Zurg, who, together with his army of robots, is attacking the human colony. Together with his newfound friends, Buzz must attempt to save the human colony from the robots and possibly find a way back home. So, story-wise, I think this is one of Pixar's most basic attempts. It is a very conventional sci-fi premise that really keeps things simple. This is probably my biggest disappointment of this movie. The plot is so by the books that we fall into almost every sci-fi trope you could think of. Lightyear takes a lot of ideas from many superior movies. Take stuff like Star Wars or Interstellar, for example, or something like Star Trek as well. This means that you will feel like you are constantly watching a conglomeration, a combination of different science fiction movies and series, all jumbled up into one. I could never fend off this feeling of familiarity I had throughout the movie, and the same must be said about how predictable the whole affair is, which again is extremely disappointing considering how fresh Pixar's recent releases have been, with Soul, for example. Another issue I had with Lightyear was the lack of emotional resonance I got out of the whole affair. This is partly to blame on the main protagonist, Buzz, made to be so unlikable. Now, I do believe this is somewhat of an intentional decision done by the creators. The version of Buzz that we get is once more arrogant and narrow-minded, right? Which is similar to the character we have in Toy Story. But we do not get the kind of dynamic that we get like between Buzz and Woody here. Actually, I'm lying. There is one character who has this kind of dynamic, has a great link with Buzz, and that is Alicia Hawthorne, his commanding officer and also best friend. This link is unfortunately given little time to develop due to certain plot decisions, although there are still some very powerful moments between the two. But like I said, this does not last long, and from like the half hour point onwards in this movie, we pretty much miss out completely on this dynamic, and I never felt any kind of emotions for anything going on screen after we lost that link between Alicia and Buzz. Now, this lack of emotion is not something I usually say about a Pixar movie, even the minor ones. Take Luca, for example, which was constantly tugging at your heartstrings. The other issue with the character of Buzz Lightyear was the very, very basic character development that takes place. Now, again, considering this is a Pixar movie, this is not something I expected to say, but really and truly, what does Buzz Lightyear learn throughout 2 hours of movie time? Think about it. The only thing I can think of is truly not to try and do everything on your own, but instead to welcome help from your friends. Wow. Honestly, couldn't we do a bit more in these 2 hours? Now, the majority of the side characters are adequate, but none of them feel too important to tell you the truth. The one character does stand out is Socks, the robot cat, which is a genuinely funny character and really did make this movie for me. The rest of the side characters include Mo Morrison, who is kind of like the Pippin from Lord of the Rings in the group, constantly messing up and pressing things he shouldn't have, as well as Darby Steele, who knows how to blow up stuff. Then, obviously, there is Izzy, who is Alicia Hawthorne's granddaughter, who is struggling to live up to her grandma's name. Like I've said, we've seen all these group dynamics 1,000 times before, and everything again is very, very predictable and very, very tropey. With regard to aesthetics, as is expected, I cannot really find any major flaws. The computer animation is all done beautifully. I love the colorful aspect of it all. Pixar has perfected this aspect, and there is a genuine feeling of super production values in this movie that is clearly made for the big screen experience. The sci-fi elements are showcased beautifully. The aesthetics of it all did kind of remind me of Star Wars, which this movie takes a lot of inspiration from, but definitely 10 on 10 on the aesthetics and the visual elements of the whole thing. It's something to behold. Now, most of the voice acting is also really well done. As much as I would have enjoyed to hear Tim Allen voice Buzz, I understand the creative reasons why they wanted someone like Chris Evans instead, apart from the obvious cynical reasons that Evans is a bigger pull at the box office. However, Evans does a great job and manages to somehow give life to such an unlikable character as Buzz is portrayed. Lightyear is an enjoyable movie, but unfortunately, there is a lot that hinders it. The main protagonist is, like I've said many times before, unlikable. The plot, very predictable and kind of basic. The themes, bland, and there are very few, if any, messages that are going to truly resonate with kids and adults alike. However, there is also a lot to enjoy here. The visuals and aesthetics are stunning and truly a delight to watch. Sometimes the adventure elements of the movie were also a blast to watch. Even the action in most parts of this movie is well animated and well displayed. And the soundtrack by Michael Giacchino is also very good. So yeah, there are a lot of good things, but like I said, it has a lot of negatives as well. This is not something I expected out of a Pixar movie. Overall, I must say I was ultimately quite disappointed by the final product. And like I said, I expect much, much more from Pixar. So my final rating for Buzz Lightyear is a 2.5 out of 5. Go and watch it if you enjoy sci-fi movies and if you really, really enjoy the Buzz Lightyear character. But I don't think it's worth a visit to the cinema. Just watch it on streaming after it releases in probably around 4 weeks' time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that review. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like on this video. And please do consider subscribing. Cheers. And I'll see you guys next time right here on Adlib Talk.